Okay, we went out, we installed GGPlot 2, and now let's go ahead and make use of it and make some data visualizations here within R. This is going to be a very basic one today. We're going to take a look at making a scatter plot. So, first command we're going to execute is to require GGPlot 2, get those functions loaded into the system so we can make use of them. Next, we're going to change the working directory to the place on my hard drive where the data that I'd like to visualize is stored. And then we're going to load that CSV up into a variable named babies and ladies. So, there we are. Now, just for the sake of consistency, let's take a look at babies and ladies here and see what's in there. Okay, let's sneak a peek at that data, see what we're looking at here. Okay. Looks like we've got three variables. We've got states, we've got a birth rate per 1,000 women in the age range the census considers fertile, that'd be 15 to 50. And then we have a median income associated with each state. So we've got information on fertility and information on earnings. And what we're going to do is we're going to visualize this in a scatter plot like we've mentioned. We're going to use the GGPlot command to do that. Now GGPlot is for quick and dirty things inside of GGPlot. It's a way to just get data up on the screen fast. It does not have the fine grained control that some of the other GGPlot functions do, but it's going to serve our needs excellently for this video. So, all right, and I changed it on you. Had it set up wrong here in my initial script, but that's the beauty of videos. I can just cut that part out for you. We're going to issue a GGPlot command now. This is something we're going to draw from GGPlot. If I tried to call this command without requiring GGPlot 2 first, I wouldn't have been able to do it. GGPlot is a quick and dirty way to get data up on the screen. It lacks some of the fine-grained control that you'll find in other GGPlot 2 functions, but it will serve our purposes quite well today. So I'm going to call GGPlot, and I'm going to set three parameters, and those parameters are first data, which is the data frame it's going to be looking at for its information. So I set data equal to babies and ladies, which is the census information for we just looked at. X, the X values, the values we're going to use for setting things. Horizontal distance from that 0 point on the axis is going to be median income. So the more money you earn, the farther to the right you're going to show up for a state median. And the Y value we're going to set to births per 1,000 women, 15 to 50. So we're going to take a look at that set of data. We're going to look and see what that looks like. So I'm going to run that command. All right, and first thing to notice right off the bat is I have a new window. This new window is called the graphics device. It'll float around and be separate. Now, that is not a product of the GUI that I'm using. That will happen if you're working from the command line. It will happen if you're in some other integrated development environment. That's going to happen across the board. And we have this graphical device. We can resize it, and the graph will resize right along with it. So that's a nice feature. And this particular graphical device will allow me to do things like save the picture or export it or print it, that kind of stuff. That's not the case in every context, but there are functions within R to do those things, so we'll take a look at that later. But here's our data. We can see that it's given us some nice axis labels. It's given us some units of measurement along the side, and it's plotted out our 50 dots as they stand. Now, this isn't terribly informative. Looks like there's not a real clear pattern going on here. We have some wild outlier states. Look like there's one way out here with huge income and very, very high rate of birth. That turns out to be Alaska if you go look at the data itself, which is interesting to think about who's living there, what are they doing, and why do they have so many gosh darn babies. Can't answer those questions for you, but I can show you. That's how you make a basic scatter plot within R. We'll learn more about labeling our plots and getting more information into that two-dimensional space and eventually finding the relationships between the data that can help explain what we're looking at. But for now, that's a start. That's how you use GGPlot to get some dots on a Cartesian plane. So I'm Ed. I'm working for mybringback.com. Please keep coming back here. I'm going to keep pumping you full of information until you are a data scientist, I guess. Or at least an enthused hobbyist.